Fellowship North. My name is Jim McGee. I'm an elder here at Fellowship and glad to have the opportunity to do our weekly updates that we have been doing for the past 4 weeks. I've lost count now, 3 or 4 weeks during this uncharted waters that we've been in as a church body, as a country, as a nation. We are just really in doing things that differently. But God has been faithful to provide ways that we can communicate with our body, and this is one of them. We hope to be able to quit doing these as soon as we can all get back together and hear the Word of God and worship together again. We look forward to that day and know that it is coming soon. I just wanted to update the body on a few things. The elders are going to be reaching out by phone, so don't be surprised if you get a call from one of us in the next couple of weeks, just really identifying needs to talk to you, to identify prayer requests, any physical needs that you may have. We have a team set up that can respond to these things that you may need during this time. So also be looking for a postcard which the staff will be sending out, which also will give you the opportunity to identify things that we can help with. Another thing that we wanted to just update you on is the pastoral search. Things have slowed a bit since the virus started, and we haven't been able to communicate with or do all the things that we needed to do as far as the pastoral search, but the process has continued, albeit slower than it was before. We would ask for your continued prayers for wisdom and guidance as we continue through this process, and we will certainly keep you but just be updated, but just be praying for the next steps as we continue in this process. One thing that we were excited about is the opportunity to start Philippians, which Kai Lane brought the first sermon to us this last Sunday, and we were very thankful for that, and really a very appropriate series during this time that hopefully you will find to be encouraging as we study the Word of God. One of the ways that we identified that may be beneficial is the Zoom open door, which follows immediately after the services. You'll be able to log in, ask any questions to whoever has been preaching or the elders that may be there, and also just share maybe what's on your heart, the way the Spirit moved with you during this time or during the series in Philippians. But feel free to encourage to log into that and ask any questions or discuss any topics that you may have as far as the sermon. The ways we are continuing to stream our services is through YouTube. We'd encourage you to subscribe to YouTube. That way you would be able to receive notifications and alerts for when Fellowship North has something going on, or if you just want to go back and re-listen to the service or something that you may have missed. We'd also encourage you to sign up for text alerts, and the way to do that is text the FN update, FN UPDATE, text that to 94090, and you will be logged in and you will be able to receive updates that we have going on during the week. And that's the quickest way that we can get a hold of everybody in an efficient manner. So we encourage you to do that. It's just been a tough time for everyone in different ways that it's presented challenges, certainly for us to be able to communicate with the body, certainly for others, taking care of elderly, taking care of kids at home. All the things that it has presented has just really challenged me, certainly, and I'm sure it has you as well. The women are doing a study on Psalms 23 that I always overhear Mary as she is involved in that, and she was listening to a video, and I can't even think of who it was, but the gentleman was describing what it was like for real shepherds to lead their sheep in the wilderness, and really what Psalms 23 talks about, green pastures. And sometimes what we think of green pastures is not a big field of alfalfa, or God providing every single thing we need. And if you really look at biblical times when shepherds led their sheep, there was never in farmland, it was in desert. And you wonder what's going on with sheep eating rocks. Well, actually, there were little green, if the humidity was right and the winds blew right, the shepherd knew where to take their sheep to receive food for that day. and little green sprouts, and the gentleman showed in the video, and it just hit home with me that sometimes what we envision as a green pasture is not all that green. But know that our shepherd knows where to take his sheep. And certainly during this time, it has really challenged us to just be patient, to know that sometimes the terrain is rocky, but God provides what his sheep need and exactly what they need and when they need it. And so it was just encouraging to me to see the analogy of a shepherd leading his sheep and what it looks like for a real shepherd in the desert to lead their sheep in that land, and what God is describing in Psalms 23. And so it was just encouraging to me to know that worrying is dealing with really tomorrow's problem on today's pasture. And so one thing that was encouraging me is to really look for the pasture of each day, the green pasture of each day. And although it may not be what we really hope and desire, or we look as a sheep would, or whatever they eat, a field of alfalfa just full of lush pastures, that God is wise, he is true, and he is faithful to provide for his sheep. So just rest in that. And thank you, Fellowship North. Look forward to seeing you soon.